Thank you, Oscar. So first of all, thank you for being here. I read a bit of the story about your company, Bancambrios, and what you're doing there. So I would like to know more about how did you started on the first place with the blockchain technologies, and how did you started being involved in this space?
Yeah, Bancambios. Bancambios is the project we're working on. We're actually preparing the launch of the first product that is the Bancambios Exchange. Uh, I mean, do you really want to know how everything started? Um, okay, so I was working, I think everything started in 2008 on October when the financial crash for us, for me, when the financial crash, just everything collapsed, right? And we were working some project assembly for investment, real estate investment, and because there was a mega boom and over credit, right? Everybody could buy anything with people were like no income, they were borrowing money, and these people they were just going by one or two, three houses, right? So the market was really hot, right? So we were in that sector at that time, and but always interested in technology. So financial crisis like boom, it hit when Lehman went down, and and yeah, so since then I heard about like when we went up, they call us everyone like the people in the office, and they said like, okay guys, like there's not gonna be activity, okay, like this is done, like there's no job, everybody needs to go home, and 20 people, 30 more than that, 30 people only on our office, but they were having like uh, lots of other people that were unemployed. So it's like, be careful, save your money. It's gonna be bad for a certain amount of time. And it's okay. So what I did is like go and research, go study, um, and then uh, you know I study business and management. So I was always researching how the other companies like Walt Disney, Walmart, McDonald's, Ford, Motor Company, and Alibaba. And then I went to the old companies like Ford and all the old companies. And then I passed to the modern companies, right? So how Yahoo, how Google, how YouTube started, how all these companies started. And then I arrived to Facebook, right? Like Twitter, and then it's like, okay, how Facebook arrived? Okay, so there and the conflicts, right? All these things, and then I read about that, and like, okay, this is not cool, kind of, it happened to all, right? Like we have like some idea, and someone wants to take it, or so I was not liking like how Facebook, and then I found the guys, the Winklevoss twins, and it's like I was like, okay, these guys they're gonna recover, they're an Olympic guys, they were having these ideas, like I need to follow these guys, like because I know that, and in 2009, 2009, 2010, there was nothing on the internet. There was ghosts. There was nothing, absolutely nothing. Then in 2010, I found some news, or nine, I don't remember. I found a news, and I was like, okay, because I was looking like in a regular basis for these guys, what they're gonna jump in, and I need to follow this. Yeah. And then I found them first news in I don't know how many years. I think it was the first news when they start to go out to the public and invest or build something. And it was this with this bit instant with Charlie Schramm. It's like, oh yeah, Bitcoin. I hear about that, but is that the coin, or is it the wallet, right? The good thing. And it doesn't matter. I start to go on the rabbit hole over there. Um, yeah, I was fascinated. My first project was like a construction escrow where everybody can track every single money and the progress of the construction with a calendar, with live, with real time cameras on the sites and things like that. And then it came to documentaries because this time, 2009 and 2010, it was research time. And then I came to two documentaries, like the Facebook movie and then the Inside Job. Everybody needs to see the Inside Job, right? And I think everybody needs now they are completely like together. No, it's social media. I call it like data, the usurpation of data and usurpation of financial of money of financial services are not services, right? Financial institutions, they're not really providing. In my point of view, they're not providing like kind of services. When they charge you, when you overdraft, when someone is not having money and they overdraft for not having uh, enough money in their account and they charge you $25 for that, it's like okay, like they charge you to take your money out. It's like, So anyway, I start to research over there, and I tried to get some of the points I couldn't. I was living in the Maya Riviera in Mexico, and it was not easy. I was not a tech guy at those stage, and I couldn't, but I was following just the development. And anyway, yeah, that's how I start. That's how I discovered. Then I left the attention on that because the fiat economy was recovering in 2013, and I have the opportunity to build like a solid fiat business and all these coins that I could not be able, and they were having like bad news about like hacks and dark web and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
it pulled me out, pushed me out of that a little bit. Um, but yeah, does that
I see.
hope that answer your
And what
question?
exactly was interesting for you at that time? Because I think a lot of people heard about Bitcoin or blockchain, but they don't like realize the impact of the technology. They don't realize what is the potential. So um, why you started looking into it? I mean, because of the decentralized way, because of the network, because of the Bitcoin as money, as medium of exchange, or what was the reason?
Yeah, yeah. On that point, I was just following, you know, um, I was following like I know about it. I tried to get on it. I was just wanted to buy it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
same way I did my PayPal account in 2019. I did my first Yahoo email account in 1996 or something that I still have. And I just like to jump up front in the new things, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious. I didn't care about like putting big money on new concepts. Same as you buy on eBay or PayPal, it's like, hey, I'm not afraid to put in my
Yeah.
my card on that and you just try it, right? So yeah, I read the white paper. I didn't put more attention. Mistake, but I read the white paper. I said, okay, this makes sense. But it was really small place. Like it was really niche. It was like it was invisible. It was not existent. It was just chats, few chats on the internet where you can find conversations and the people that talk about it. Few chats. So and yeah, it was. I was curious. I if I would have the chance to buy easily, like yeah, it would, but yeah, being in the country where I was, it was not easy. And yeah, so then it came like online. right? So it's like, oh, great. For me, it was like great because it's like, okay, this thing is like super cheap. It's brand new. It has a guy behind it, and it's the silver, right? So
Mm-hmm.
BTC was kind of the gold and like the silver, so it makes sense. And there was a guy behind it, no dark web and no hacks. So it's like, okay, I want this. Like, doesn't matter, just want it. And I couldn't. I couldn't. I mined it some. I remember in 2010, I have I got this new desktop for my office, and it's like, okay, this is the only way I can get one of these codes is mining. So I just left the computer over there, but it was just pure dust, right? So it was like nothing, no sense of sense. So, but it's like, okay. So anyway, so at that point, I was not. It was not easy. It was not accessible. And yeah, yeah. But that was it. But anyway, yeah. Then this is chronology of how we start Bandcamp, right? Because everything is chronology. Like, okay, it has like a it's like a domino effect. So and then it came. So I keep researching, but the economy started to grow. So I need to work. Then I cannot pay much attention to that. But I was following, and then it came Dogecoin, right? So and I couldn't believe it. It's like this is like I was like kind of I was kind of uh, um, how to say that the solution, right? For to see like a joke, like a real one, and it would be forever. Like I don't think so. I think we could use this in a more formal way, in a more professional. Like if this technology has potential, we should actually
Mm-hmm. All right.
like turn it into more serious stuff. But hey, to me, it was bad and really good because at that time when I saw the doji in the screen and it's gonna stay there for forever, like okay, if this can be a coin, like absolutely everything can be a coin, right? Everything. And that was the moment when I have this aha, when I have this wow, when I have this moment of tokenize everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, okay. So like this can be a coin, the table can be a coin, right? The people in the streets, maybe they become coin, the building maybe so everything. So the vision just like boom. And that was really cool. So I was like, okay, fiat economy is recovering, right? We need to start producing, and I cannot buy this. So okay, let's just record a good name for whenever this and try to start a project. No? So I browse a few good names according to my market because I was in Mexico, and I'm in Mexico still, um, right now, and I found the name and I bid for that and we got the name in February 2014. And at that time, we just wanted to do like money exchange business service, changing dollars to pesos, things like that, and also exchange cash for BTC and others. But this was, of course, not regulated. The licenses for money exchange services were really high, and so we didn't went into that path. It was not the right timing. Nobody wanted to touch BTC. No one, no one, because I was talking about it. Like no. They actually they put me a little bit like no, you know. And yeah, I hope that answers you.
Mm-hmm. And like, what was the idea when you started? Like, yeah, I understood that basically you just wanted to be in the space because you saw the potential of tokenizing everything and actually everything being put on a blockchain, and you can exchange value that way, right? This is the main point. So yeah, after that epiphany, what was the so, or when was the moment when you find the mission for your company?
Yeah, I think the mission was like set up before. Like our company speaks for the name, right? So we divide the word in two words. So it's one word, two words. It's banca, which is bank, and cambios, which means alternation, modification, evolution, right? So coming from 2006, 2007, 2008, that's exactly what we need, right? Change, harmony. Uh, I was having some uh, retire, some friends, retired friends from the banking sector, and we were having discussions like there's no way that we can repair this. There's no way like this can be repaired. It's just having flaws after flaws, and they try to cover with something like it's gonna make the crack bigger every single time. And he always said like, but because he was like a good big financial guy experience, it's like, hey, at some point there's gonna be a reset or just everything is gonna be very bad because this is not going to start. It's not going to stop. Sorry. And so that was the vision to change things, to have different different uh, different kind of money, different kind of banking.
Right. Um, so you are talking about reset, right? And I pretty think that this virus or this situation with what happens is a pretty a reset for a lot of things, especially I think the financial world is in kind of a situation I think comparable to, let's say, maybe after the World War or around that time. So we didn't have the situation like this where people basically have to stay at home and governments have to print more money, more fiat money, and of course they uh, this results in inflation and many people lose their wealth because of this, and a lot of people are more and more interested in what money is, or to find actually a meaning for their money, because they actually saw that the current economic system is not sustainable and it doesn't work. So maybe now is the time when we have to step up and say, yeah, there are better ways. So what your solutions, because I understood that there are many like more products that you have in mind or more use cases.
Yes.
So actually what you are trying to solve, what kind of problem you are trying to solve?
Yeah. Well, first, I think we need like community-oriented financial services, right? Like it's not working for the people and it's not working for the environment. It's very toxic. The economy right now is very toxic for the society and it's very toxic for the environment. The enormous amount of consumism, like products that
Yeah,
were,
consumerism. Yeah.
yeah, almost useless for the people, but they were just educated to keep just buying and buying and buying. And it's not right, right? I think we were really in a wrong path. Like there's irreversible damages from some business models that 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 are running right now. I think that's very destructive. And now with technology, is very destructive in society, right? Because now social media and all this is not really giving something of value to the people, it's just taking value away. Um, So it's not very constructive. It's not very positive. And yeah, so we want to do that. Yeah. So the exchange is the first product because we need a decentralized, but we also do a decentralized, right? Because we need people to be able to onboard and have a wallet. First thing we're doing is educate them in how to do private keys. Like we're centralized, but we want to give them, we want them to have their private keys, right? And yeah, what was the other question?
Yeah, actually, to dig a bit deeper more into the product that you have and what problems you want to solve. Because from what I understood, you realized that now is like a reset, or when you spoke with your friends and you kind of get to the
Yeah,
conclusion that there has to be a reset in the economic space, in the economic system, right?
yeah.
So
So we actually call it the financial renaissance, right? So they said like after the plague comes the renaissance. So we need like a financial renaissance. We need, and people is, I mean, people, everybody realize that financial services from 9 to 5 difficult to have uh, financial services. So the product is not, we're not trying to compete. There's really good products on crypto right now, like amazing products. I use them all. And I want to, of course, we're going for market domination, but we need to start somewhere. Like we're not gonna go and take all the users from the existing crypto platforms because they're really good. But we may take some accounts from conventional, traditional legacy systems banks because the interest rates are more attractive from their money. Uh, Money transfers are way cheaper, and yeah, there's no limitations. Right now, I was reading that like cash transactions in Italy are like, I don't think you can transact more than 25 in cash. Some other countries, 5 5K euros per month. Some others you cannot retry from your bank like more than, you know, X amount of money in cash. I mean, it's the money of the people. If I need the money, you give me my money. It's my money. It's not your money, right? So that's what we want to do. We want to aim. There's two things very important in this space. One is on ramping more fiat. So tokenizing fiat is key. Like do more stable or just make people join the stablecoin ecosystem. See that they are gonna get interest rates for their money that they will never get with banks. Never, right? So they will never go back to them. That's key. And yeah, so that's one. The other one is yeah, total value lock, right? So you need to make the people like once that they on-ramp fiat, they never go back to the traditional. Like you're not gonna, once that you find that you can earn from stable coins, like you can have your entire savings on that, and you can have a nice weekly or monthly or even daily um, distribution of your product. Your money is producing more in these places. So why do you want to go back, right? So there's more people in the traditional conventional sector that can join us than in the crypto to come with us, right? So that's less probability. They may come and try our platform and see what we have, and maybe we have listed some coins that other exchanges they don't, so we keep them, right? But I think in a global macro perspective, which I mean, yeah, it can have, like, we have more chances to unwrap more fiat, more users, onboard more users from traditional financial institutions.
Yeah, yeah. So, just for the audience, so they can get a clear understanding, on ramp means actually transforming your money, your paper money, into digital tokens or digital money, basically. Even coins that are operating decentralized, or coins like Bitcoin or stable coins. So this is what actually on ramp means. But I will try to ask you here a question. For someone who didn't work in a technology or doesn't know what blockchain is, for example, or maybe they heard about Bitcoin, or they heard stories about, let's say, that Bitcoin is used to illegal activities or whatever, but they want to try it, or at least it sounds interesting. They are just totally annoyed by the banks right now, because it's getting harder and harder to, for example, transfer money. They require a lot of papers or information from you every time. So what would you say to the person who wants to try it but don't have the courage to start it?
Yeah, I think they look. You can try with $10, right? You can try with five. Like, really, your your first entry, like just choose a date, uh, choose your amount, five, $50, whatever you want. Just try one stable coin, try to do this, try even $1 in each. And so you can see how it behaves, you can see how it works. You're gonna be they're gonna be discovering like new ways of transferring, right? Because right now we can be transferring money as text messages or as emails, right? And fiat, there are also some applications they have that, right? But I mean, that's like it can be like double spending problem. In these technologies, like, okay, just copy and paste, and you just send it. I think they need to try it between in the houses. Like, okay, if you know, one the father the 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 son, they can say, okay, let's put like $1 each or $5 each, and you send me one, I send you one, and have fun, you know, and then discover what you can do. And yeah, it's nothing. Like, if you are afraid, like, yeah, okay, maybe some people think that Bitcoin is used for bad stuff, which is not. Like, the number one for that is the dollar, right? Everybody knows it, or at least I think so. uh, and BTC is like really small amount, less than 1%, and everything is traceable. So you can trace in the blockchain, you can trace every single transaction in the blockchain. You can actually trace it, right? There's of known wallets, but if they want to cash it out, like, they need to go on a, some convert the crypto into fiat. So there's like an entry point and there's like an exit point. There is strategies, smart people that maybe find some, but okay, don't touch it. You don't want that. There's some others that you can touch. There's stable coins that you can touch, and they're not used on any kind of let's say activities that people can be afraid, and they don't want to be related, right? So if I don't want to touch that something that it's in the hands of others, don't touch it. Just go for stable coins, right? They're fully regulated. They're some of them, they're weekly or uh, monthly audited, that the amount of dollars of the collateral as a fiat is actually the same amount that is represented in the tickers on the blockchain. So yeah, I would recommend just go for it.
Mm-hmm. Great. And now, when you are working in this space, of course, and you know a lot of the developments that happen. Basically, I think in the last year was a lot of development in the space. There are new companies, for example, Coinbase, that get public. More and more people from the business side, from institution, are investing in Bitcoin or taking a look at the blockchain and different coins. There are many chains also developing, Ethereum, of course, but there are also others like Cardano, Polkadot, and stuff like that. I want to ask you actually, what do you think are the most important, use cases overall, and the developments that happen in the last, let's say, 1 year in the space from your point of view?
Yeah, sure. Um, yeah, Ethereum, they have like massive development, and I think DeFi, uh, the development on DeFi, I think is super innovative. The fact that, and that's why in 2017, the concept of issuing new coins just for new projects didn't work out. Few of them, they work out, but right now with DeFi, it works because there's a lock. So there's lock periods that people need to send their ether and keep their ether over there um, for a certain amount of time. You know? So people want to stake. They want to hold, right? Because the more you hold, the more you get rewarded. If in case they join liquidity pools and have liquidity pool tokens. So that's a little bit more like niche, right? I don't know, like I don't want to talk about like, but DeFi is super interesting. I think DeFi, everybody needs to take a look at that and that. Also, security tokens were like they were scaling in 2018, 19, and not much in 2020. But I believe in that. I believe in security tokens, and I believe in the community owned. I like assets owned by the community, more than corporations and centralized ownership. Uh, Also, like DeFi was key, and the new blockchains. I think the bridges that can transact or communicate with different blockchains in different programming languages like Rust. Yeah, you mentioned Polkadot, Cardano. It's not in Rust, but it comes Solana, Avalanche, uh, and others, right? So there's new blockchains, faster, cheaper than Ethereum. But yeah, I mean, the total value locked, which is the amount of funds or the amount of ether that stay on a vault, it grows from maybe, I don't know, a couple of hundreds of like $200 million to $2 billion. And now I think I haven't checked, but I think it's in the 40s, the $40 billion. And those those are values that are locked. So they're on a smart contract and they're in a vault that they're going to stay there for a certain amount of time. Some of them they're going to be staying there for 2 years. And it's brilliant. The mechanisms that these blockchain developers are implementing, they're brilliant, right? Because if you want to enter and use these blockchains, uh, people like new startups, they need to go and lock coins for 2 years, which is, I think, is brilliant. It was not existent in 2017, and it just make it more stronger, the commitment, because the team has a commitment. If you don't deliver, maybe you don't have access to those funds in 2 years, right? So you need to deliver your project to actually pull out those tokens. So the mechanisms in general in blockchain have been developed and they're more creative. They have more use case. They're more, how can I say, complete. and protected. No, they don't have insurance, but they're just more. The design is more intelligent. It's way more sustainable. Um, yeah.
All right. Yeah, yeah. For sure, DeFi is a big topic right now, and I think the
NFTs too,
overall,
right?
as you said, the overall funds that are entering the space is mind blowing. I think right now is the like has the biggest growth um, in any industry. Like, I think DeFi is the most important step toward a more decentralized world, and I think is the fastest growing technology right now as an amount of actual money that people are putting in this. So yeah, also there are new use cases that appear. They are not new, of course. They've been developed through the years, but now they are getting more attention in the marketplace. Things like smart contracts and NFTs, and you can search for audience if you don't know what these are. Can you explain a bit why the attention is coming up right now to all of these use cases that are not actually just money or just speculating on some things that can grow. I mean, buying some coin and you hope that it can grow, 10 times or whatever, or the project can grow a lot. So actually, there are other use cases, and of course, corporations or actually people can benefit from. So, why do you think this type of things are getting more and more attention, right?
Yes, yes, definitely. Yeah, it's not only like okay, people okay, and more than ever they want to multiply their money, right? So yeah, that's why DeFi has a huge explosion. But there's other implementations like supply chain. It can be more efficient and using decentralized ledger technology, so the blockchain. They don't even need to have a coin, right? They don't need to have a coin. They can run in different. They can run hyperfabric, or there's many other um, um, technologies. And also NFTs, yes, I mean they have been exploding because NFTs is like non-fungible token, right? Let's say like if you have, and the difference is between is like you have one Bitcoin and there's 21 billion, or there's gonna be 21 million Bitcoin, but you don't know if the Bitcoin you have is the same Bitcoin as, I mean, they're not, they're just 21 million. Same is with Ethereum. You don't know if you transact Ethereum, there's 100 million of Ethereum. So you really don't, if I send you right now one Ethereum to you, you don't know if it's Ethereum number 18,600,345 or is the first one or the last one, right? So you don't know. Same with Bitcoin, you don't know if it's the first one mined or the last one, right? So with NFTs, we know with NFTs is the non-fungible token. So each one is unique, right? So those well, I don't want to like say like it's exclusive from Ethereum blockchain because it's not. Right now, there's many other blockchains that are issuing NFTs. Anyway, um, yeah. So these unique pieces can be art. Like on the news, we can see that there's a lot of buzz in art, but there's also can be certificates of authenticity, authenticity from from woods that are let's say you have one collectible, you have one piece of okay, one good example is a one piece of art, right? So let's say you have a Picasso, right, or something, or even you just paint one and you just want to make sure that that piece is represented by digital, like it's attached, like it's a certificate. It tells you who did it, when, what place they create this. If it's like and it can be in the most examples are in art, but it could be many things. Um, but I don't want to complicate the audience, right? But it can be many things. It can be supply chain. It can have an NFT can tell you like what was the factory that produced the product, when the product was taken out from the factory to the one distributor, and who was distributor, and who take this product from the factory to the store, and then how long it take for this product to go from the inventory to the store to the hands of the consumer. And this process can be documented through the blockchain, and it could be documented through an NFT. Um, I think that's more in the enterprise uh, space, not really. It could be retail, right? But right now, it is more enterprise oriented. But yeah, that's a use. That's an example that maybe is useful to explain.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you explained it pretty well, I think. Just wanted to add a little bit of, actually, also with an NFT you can have utility, because, for example, you can have something digital like in a game, or a card that can have some utility in a game, in a virtual game, or it can have some utility on transacting it. Like if let's have an example like FIFA, from football, it's issuing some cards. You can see that actually they are issued by this authority, and you can trust it. So there are many use cases, and the space is fantastic. I mean, it can grow a lot, and it can have a lot of use cases, and it can change some people's lives, basically, because now some people who can't, right, how many artists are there who are making money from their art? There are a few, let's say, not all of the artists who wants to make music or paint are selling their craft. But now with NFTs, there are more and more people who all join the space, and you can benefit from that. If you want to, you know, sell art in a digital form, or other ways like IPs, and domains, virtual land, or there are many things like you said, for corporations on a supply chain level. So there are many things that are interesting. There are many technical aspects to it, but in a simple way, is a form of taking ownership of your of what you are producing, basically, and have a proof for that ownership, right? So I just want to ask you, maybe in the last part of the conversation, about the future. How you see the future on the space? What do you think will be interesting to follow in the next period, let's say?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, about the NFTs. Yes, gaming is gonna be uh, huge, right? I mean, right now we're gamifying everything. We're gamifying social media, right? There's these very easy to use apps, and the people have everything to create to issue new forms of, like, we're issuing creations that become part of the economy, right? Yeah, gaming is gonna be huge. And I'm sorry, what was the other question?
How do you see the future
Oh yeah, yeah.
on space? On overall, I mean, if people are maybe who are not like beginners, but they follow the space for quite a while. We have here in Romania a lot of guys who are entering the space and researching it. Maybe for them, what will be interesting to follow in the next period of time?
Yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, like you need to jump in the blockchain, right? Like if you want to be part of all this, I don't recommend anybody to be skeptical right now. Are changing. Things are changing right now. Like you know, this in the last 2000 in 2020, like people connected in the internet, like the use of internet and the use of smartphones, it just went, I don't know, 20% off or something. What we were predicting in 10 years, it just happened in one, or 5 years, it happened in one. So now that we're more connected, it's time to do connect and build together that future, right? So in the future, I see that like number one is going to be like it has to be plastic less, right? So for example, in our project, we have the firm commitment of not issuing plastic cards. Like there's enough plastic, guys, really like who predicted this? I don't know if it was international monetary fund that this says in 2050 there's going to be more plastic than fish than life in the ocean, and that's pathetic. That's really like it's sad, right? uh, are we going to change that? We want to change that. So no plastic is going to be plasticless. At some point it's going to be cashless, but you're going to be able to trade or buy your groceries, mm, you know, kind of with let's say you have like people right now they have sharing economy, they have more knowledge of the sharing economy, and they have more knowledge on crowdfunding. So people need to participate in these mechanisms. They need to participate in crowdfunding. And in case of security tokens, a security token that you bought uh, right now, maybe in 5 years you want to pay something. You might maybe want to pay your new car or whatever, right? So with this, it is your money. Right now, you cannot do that. It's a security. You need to transfer this. Uh, I think right now the future is gonna be like we're gonna have like a calculator that is gonna just convert any kind of asset or any kind of value into money. No, so it's gonna be more like money as a service and I don't know, blockchain as a service, and it must be more eco-friendly. It has to be because I don't know, maybe I'm paranoid about that, but if it's if we don't stop like how to say consumism, like massive uh, the wave
Massive
of
consumption, yeah, massive consumption of resources.
consumption, yeah. So if we don't change that for for and reduce the the carbon footprint, I don't know. I think we're gonna face like bad times. You know, there's fires everywhere. And anyway, I don't want to be pessimistic, but I just care about it. And as society, the gap is just getting more divided. So instead of going like right now, is people more united because the last year everybody is in the same kind of wave, in the same kind of so look on the future, like we need to create that future. Like now is the time to create a better future.
Exactly.
It has to be eco-friendly. That's the most important. It has to be community oriented. It has to serve for the people. It doesn't make sense that there's like thousands of billionaires if they're really none of them they're really doing an important. They're not joining force to do a really radical impact in the society and in the environment. There's no hedge funds are just accumulating wealth for the other wealth,
Mm-hmm.
and usually these business models that these companies that hedge funds trade are very destructive. So I think we need to be more sustainable. We need to be detached from 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 uh, from banks, from corporations, uh, more independent, more like, hey, we buy whatever we want, we produce whatever we need, and we behave as like a collective, I don't know, society that is more responsible. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that's the future I want to see. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you want to predict the future, you there's
It's hard, yeah. Especially now, it's much harder than ever before.
it's gonna be with G5. I think we can have a lot of new activities. And I think NFTs and all this, DeFi and all this is going to be amazing because if we can be transacting faster, right? We can be just building our own ecosystem, our own finance, our own economy from new creations like NFTs are, because NFTs just they create something, someone buy it, and these have a value. And and yeah, it has to be community oriented. And yeah, we will see with I hope and then petrol free. um, we have lots of water in the ocean, so we I don't think we need petrol anymore. That's like no, yeah, I hope we hope that we have some STO launchpad that we're trying to launch some eco-friendly business models as much as possible
Mm-hmm.
to make like a positive impact. Like right now, I think there's going to be like a huge opportunity in healing, like in correct or reducing all the negative impact that have been built in the last 200 years. In the last 100 years, it has been terrible. So yeah, more conscious.
Yeah, you put a great word here on the last part. More conscious about what we consume, actually. I think consumer behavior is a big shift where I want to work more, and this is the why I made this podcast, because we have to be aware that these things exist, right? Because till now we kind of have these ideas that we can't do much because, right, we don't own our data online. We have to work for somebody else. We need a job, or we have to make a credit to a student loan to go to university and stuff like that. So actually, how all the system works is kind of not working. And what I see actually is that more and more people are bringing more consciousness to the real and important stuff that are happening, like what you said, like the climate change and the pollution that we all have in the big cities, and as well as the fiscal and monetary policies that are not controlled by independent people. They are controlled by institutions, and these guys all wants to have power and more power in their hands. So that's the reason that maybe what you talked about, like hedge funds, don't want to change anything basically. And last thing related to the eco-friendly, as you said, business or business models. So actually, I have two questions here. First is how we can build more sustainable businesses. Like, what do you think are the solution or solutions to provide a more community oriented businesses and more sustainable businesses. And the second question is, if you are willing to collaborate with some people who might want to, have a discussion with you like we have right now, where this kind of people can find you, and what are your plans related to these topics, around
Yeah.
having conversations? You talked about, having already conversation with some people. Maybe we can build like a bigger community basically, and we can have discussions. We can share resources. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be like how can you say collab, what's the word? Um, yeah, collaborative uh, and constructive. Yeah, now that we can just have chats, right? We can just have chats when we just, hey, where's this constructive, collaborative initiatives, and how can I join? Many people there could just can join remotely, and some of them were are on the site. They can just join like with in present, like going there and do something, right? So I think right now, and about like we would just talk about the future, and something that I just uh, forgot is that the future is freedom, right? Like we're gonna be free. I think we're already free. Like we just have this status quo
Mhm.
that it just tells you like how life should be, and that you need to go after this because your last four generations did the same, and the world has been doing that, and you have need to wear these kind of clothes and behave like this, and I think like we already free, like this technology set us free, right? So as far as we are like conscious and constructive, and we don't harm others, like we're free, right? And in the how to make more sustainable, I don't think sustainability is gonna come from 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 governments or centralized authorities or corporations. Like really, the more they destruct, the more the more money they make. So they just keep making money, and they need money right now, right? And they want more money. So that's kind of if I destroy more society, or I destroy more the environment, I just make better. I just they just perform uh, better in the spreadsheet. So yeah, I think that the most important change about sustainability is gonna come from the ground, right? So it's gonna come from the street. It's gonna come from us connected, doing initiatives, and doing from your house. Everybody needs to start from their house, right? Everybody is just consuming, you know, containers, right? Like we have one initiative in Bancambrios Launchpad that is building. Well, I don't want to say plastic-like. This looks plastic-like, but all the containers, everything that is plastic right now, on because it's absolutely everything. You open your fridge and it's full of plastic, right? You open every kind of door in your house and it's full of plastic, right? So we need to replace this. We need to stay petrol free. There's lots of materials that can be replaced. That there's coconut fiber, avocado seed, the corn, the hemp. So all these organic fibers that can be crystallized and become and replace these containers, I think that's key. That's super important, and that's the number one, right? So, uh, how to be more sustainable? I think everybody needs to start with us. Like, hey, wear cotton, wear wear fabrics that are from organic things, right? From organic products, um, consume, you know, consume things that are more environmentally friendly, more sustainable. And number two, I think is we're stepping on a stage of 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 more wisdom, right? More knowledge, more learning. Everybody's learning every day something. The knowledge we can expand our knowledge with the computers, with the internet, with the use of the internet. Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to get entertained, right? In the day, looking at memes or videos and this, but also like we need to learn, we need to educate ourselves every day, and we need to come with. I think we need to come with little initiatives like, hey, look, if you grow potatoes, I grow the onions, and we trade, right? And we are more independent. And if you're going to one place, I mean, it has to be community. I mean, we wish that this is a constructive collaboration between the people. I don't think, I mean, look, all the initiatives that all the government is planning to ban plastic in 2025, like why 6 years from now? Why 4 days from now? If you can do it now, just say like, hey, plastic is just banned, right? So why the bureaucracy and all these legacy system is just lagging all the things that we need yesterday, not today, like yesterday. So why so that's why as a society right now, I mean, we're free and we can start our own we can start our own yeah, our own initiatives, our own business models, and we can build companies. Like people, I think there's going to be a huge opportunity that there's going to be massive companies that can be created from now, and it can be community owned and community operated. So yeah, we're gonna launch like a academy and an event, a platform for events an academy so people can start like just on chats, right? Because we need to communicate just like you and I, we're willing to work together and like, hey, we can invite just more people to join us.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. And you plan something with the academy? I mean, there is some where online where people can find more information about that or how to connect with you in.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I mean, the best way is to go to bancambrios.com, bancambrios.exchange. We're very responsive in emails, chat, all these. Right now, we're building the community management in the office. So we're gonna be we're gonna have more outlets where people can just reach out when people can just grab ideas from one place and maybe implement it in another part of the world. And yeah, I mean, I'm on Twitter, I'm on all the social medias, but uh, yeah, I think the best is just submit any proposal on our communication on the on the on our website, and then hey, it's time to build things. I think so. So that's why we have this this project and launchpad to just and we can build things in a centralized way remotely, or we can buy, or we can start. People can just start. We're just a platform, right? So we just want to facilitate that people say like, okay, and some experts with experience that we that they have been joining and say like, okay, as business experts, they can go and see, okay, they review their business models, so they review their initiative, their perfection, um, and they just make it happen. No, so there's a lot of people that we work with that are doing or working in the same efforts that we're working, and it's global. global. So we're just gonna keep doing that until people start to do that. We see some change, but we want to see the change. Like think about it. If we can, the amounts of companies that are just doing plastic, if the new plastic or not the new containers, right? If all these industry and all this sector can be community owned, it's good. It's good business to own.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, yeah. We get back the power that we gave to other external circumstances. We can make a really big impact. And as you really nicely put, uh, everything starts with your own habits, becoming more consciousness about what is actually beneficial for the world. Because yeah, right now we are even more connected than ever before, and I think there is a lot of places in the world when there is a lot of suffering, and in these places, like Africa or Venezuela, or what happens with political situation, with the economic situation there. Actually, if you saw, these regions are more open to embrace new technologies. I just read a story about Nigeria is like the first and biggest country that there was the biggest number of transaction of Bitcoin in the country. So actually, the solutions are there, or the solutions can come up from everywhere in the world. Now that we are living in a more free and open space, and the reason is that you don't need really uh, important resources to start, or have these big networks of friends or of experts to start. You can learn by yourself, and then you can speak to others in your community, and from there you can start your business. You can start speaking with others that don't understand the situation, and you can help them basically find a solution for their problem. So that's being said, just wanted to ask the last questions. If you want to say a few words in the end, you are more than welcome to share your thoughts.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Daniel, for this space. It was really, thank you. It's great. And yeah, I mean, look, we're launching this. I mean, we want to invite people to check out our initiative, uh, check our project, check the people, review, read our documents. If you feel that it's something that you align, hey, we're here. We want to work with everyone. We want to work with everyone. Check out our project. We're launching different. Uh, we're gonna be announcing more like our go-to-market strategy, our plans to tackle the market, enter and onboard more users, and the products that we're gonna have. Stay tuned. We're gonna have good products and with top cybersecurity. Um, Cybersecurity is the number one. So yeah. Just thank you, and let's do it. Don't wait. Or you get or you disrupt, or you get disrupted, right? So right now we're in the stage that we can disrupt. We all together can disrupt what they never thought about, that Bitcoin would be challenging central banks, or Bitcoin would be challenging, or blockchain could be challenging the traditional infrastructure that banks run on top, right? So now it's happening, and those technology were built. They were not built. They were just built like community, like guys, coders, and now it's a big thing, and they're taking over everything. It's taking over finance, taking over supply chains. It's taking about many other things. So it was built from the ground. It's the first technology that they don't have. All of them, the other technologies, the internet was developed during the war, right? And in the 70s, and in the 70s there was few computers, and now all the computers, right? So GPS was developed in the war, right? And things like that. And then it just industrial commercialized in every smartphone. But right now it's the vice versa. It's like is the community is from the laptops of some that they start to code this, and now it's just massive, and it's just going now. They are adapting this technology, so it's really important. It in very small. I mean, many times I think the technologies or innovation they go from the people and they just don't like it because they're gonna disrupt they're gonna disrupt the traditional system. But this is like a leak, right? There was a little leak, and we just the technology went there, and now it's
Yeah, it's
just
called a
stopping
tipping
the leak.
point, it's called a tipping point when there is, in theory, when there is an innovative product, for example, there are early adopters, right? And we are like early adopters. And there is a tipping point when the technology goes mainstream. And from that tipping point, everything goes like exponentially growth. And I think we are right at that tipping point right now when everything can go like exponentially unimaginable higher than you expected, like the adoption rate, the level of development and all of that.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy. Every project they have, they're very responsive. Uh, Everybody wants to work with everyone in this space. That's what it built from there. It was built from the ground, so it just keeps the same nature, right? So welcome everyone to join.
Yeah. So actually, that being said, if you are listening to this, you are more than welcome to speak with us and get in the discussion with us. And you are more welcome to start doing your um, own, let's say, work on your community. Start with the people around you, and then everything became more clear when you have more open conversation with the people around you. You can actually understand that more than you imagined. People are aligned with your vision, and things can change from there. Related to all of these issues that are being like really discussed, and we can actually can have more empowerment to the communities, because even if you right now, it doesn't matter if you are living in a rural small village or in a big city, actually everyone is moving from the big cities, so you're pretty lucky if you stay outside of the big cities. So start now, and yeah, thank you so much again, Oscar. I invite everyone to write you a message if you want to discuss some blockchain or what we have debated now in this discussion. And if you want to talk more with Oscar, you can give him a message. And if you like this conversation, just share it with your friends, or be open to react to this or have a comment. Reach out to me, and we can go from there. Thank you so much, Oscar.
Perfect. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, we hope to hear from anyone that wants to do. You know, this is look at the name of the of this of this of your how do you call it, interview. This
Mhm.
like that's what we're building. So it's better that it's from all of us, right? We don't need to expect one person build the future. Like right
Exactly.
now, we together we're gonna build it. We're free. Like
Mhm.
I think so.
Yeah, that's true.
We're
That's
free
true.
to do
And
it.
you can do your part. That's the most amazing thing. I mean, even you think it's a small thing, it's not. It's really it's important in the big scheme
Exactly.
of things. I think that way. I mean, I think small steps or small actions can bring a lot of big steps on the big picture.